What's up, guys? So, finally, there is officially the first release of information about the next game. Well, not the first, technically the first release, but the first actual, good lump of information. I guess you could call this the marketing. So, they finally started marketing, and I'm glad. I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time. And, personally, I think the timing is perfect. I've always had a problem with developers releasing uh, information or marketing games way too early. So while that might make us excited at first, what happens is you get this long period of nothing. Like, okay, now you're waiting for the game. And if there's too much of a time period between the marketing and the actual release of a game, to me, it's not as effective. You really want to strike at the best time, and I think 3 months is the perfect time. If the game's coming out in within 3 months and you start your marketing, that's plenty of time to market a game, first of all, to get the word out, to get people excited, and then there's not that long of a wait, so that by the time the game does release, you still feel a little bit of that excitement. Whereas other games, you hear about it, then a year goes by, and it's like, when's this game coming out? By the time the game actually releases, the excitement levels, it drops a lot. I'm not saying it's gone. Some of it comes back, but it's not the same. I just don't think the marketing is as effective. So I've always I like when developers keep the initial announcements and marketing close to a release date. I think 3 months is perfect. So yeah, this is exciting. So we're gonna go through the IGN article, and all right, let's see what's in store for us. Motorsport Games confirms NASCAR 21. I guess that's the name of it. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I don't want people to say, hey, you're pushing false information. I mean, let's just guess this might be the name. If it's not, it's not. Okay, NASCAR 21, new engine, new physics, which we knew about. So let's see if they get into details. Motorsport Games has confirmed a new NASCAR game will be ready for 2021, and it will not be a continuation of the Heat series, which most of us already know. NASCAR 21 will represent a fresh start for NASCAR simulations from Motorsport Games and will be powered by the Unreal Engine and Studio 397's acclaimed R Factor 2 physics. Motorsport Games acquired Studio 397 and R Factor 2 in March this year, and 2020's NASCAR Heat 5 was built using Unity. So here's one of the first screenshots. Wow. I mean, it's pretty dark and shaded. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not blown away by this particular screenshot. I do like the lighting effect of the sun glaring through. It does look like it's sunset. I like the fencing is highly detailed. It doesn't look all jaggedy. All right. What's really exciting is that we've been working with the R Factor team at 397, who have been known for their physics and also then changing engines from our previous engine into the Unreal, then combining the two. Motorsport Games' George Holmquist tells IGN using the Unreal Engine just brings the graphics and the gameplay into more of a AAA style of game. I love hearing that, and it's long overdue. NASCAR has not been a AAA title since 2009. So, yeah, um, Eutechnics, and then I'm already forgetting the name. Uh, the NASCAR Heat guys. I'm not doing it on purpose. I really I just have a brain freeze. But The last two developers have taken a low budget direction to the entire franchise, and these guys are definitely pushing things back into AAA status. And we're in 2021. That means the graphics have to be impressive, the physics, and a lot of the things we see with other major AAA games. We should be seeing in a NASCAR game, and that's where these guys are pushing more than the NASCAR Heat franchise we've had before. I think that's something our customers are looking for. If you've seen the screenshots, it's definitely a step up. I agree. Holmquist is optimistic. Fans will find plenty to like about NASCAR 21's planned level of visual fidelity and handling quality. But he's also keen to see players get stuck into the paint functionality that's being added to this racing reboot. Reportedly, the most requested feature outside of the core gameplay. One of the biggest things that fans have been asking for is more customization. Hallelujah. I know a lot of people out there, I've heard it for years. They've made excuses saying, who cares about a paint booth? NASCAR game is about racing. The point is that everything matters. This is why games like Formula One 2020 are so great, because they don't take any feature, no matter how small, and just dismiss it and say, well, who cares? People are here to race. They don't do that. That's why you end up getting a fully fleshed out, deep, and immersive game. And that's what we need with NASCAR. So everything matters. Every little detail matters. And we're not going to get everything in the first game. I get it. But this is actually a surprise. So I love seeing that. I love it. Um, and think about it. NASCAR, I think more than any other game, to me, when I think of customization, what game actually lends itself to customization more than a NASCAR game? The sport of NASCAR is basically advertising on wheels. The paint schemes, the unique look of these cars. You don't see that anywhere else. Even Formula One, the cars basically look all the same. Yes, they do have customization, but with NASCAR, the cars, you can tell who's who a mile away. And it's exciting to see these bright, vibrant colors on these cars, and the different paint schemes they come up with. And as a NASCAR fan and a gamer, I want to be able to create my own scheme that sets me apart from everyone else, that makes me unique, that you can show off to other people when you race online. Creating your own schemes, to me, there is no other uh, genre of game that, to me, customization is more important. And you see customization in every game out there. So NASCAR not having a fucking paint booth and getting by on these miniature, tiny, little, bare bones changes every year was unacceptable. And that's why the community has been screaming about a paint booth. And I've been on it, but I was going to give these guys a pass on the first game, because judging from what they've said about what their goals are for this game, I said to myself, hey, they're setting the bar pretty high. It's the first game. If they really deliver on better graphics, better physics, um, and just a better overall feel to the actual racing, um, among other things, you know what? If they didn't put a paint booth in there, I was gonna say, okay, they get a mulligan for the first game, and as long as that, the rest of the game is quality. But on top of all the things they've talked about, here we are. They announced it. It's official. There's gonna be a paint booth. Um, I don't know how deep it's gonna be, but man, it's just what I love most is that they seem to be echoing the criticisms and the desires of the community. They're not going to deliver everything we've all asked for, But this is huge, and it shows they're listening. That is very important for any developer. They're off to a good start. Until we see the game, obviously, I know a lot of people are going to say that. I'm going to wait to see the game. So am I. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but just all we can do right now is judge them on the decisions they've made so far and the announcements they've made. Honestly, what is there to complain about? Now, once the game comes, who knows? I'm sure there are going to be things to criticize, and I will definitely do that. But I want to be fair, and so far, they are, you know, excitement check, paint booth check, graphics check, um, just and the decisions they're making, pushing towards more realistic physics with the purchase of Studio 397. It's all check, 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 check. They're checking off a lot of the things that I would be looking to do if I was a game developer. This is the direction I would be pushing. Again, the final product's going to show us more, but I love what I'm hearing, and so let's keep going forward. One of the biggest things fans have been asking for is more customization. Again, they're listening. We've always had the ability to make custom car and stuff like that, but we really spent a lot of time bringing a legitimate paint booth to the game. Man, I tell you, they're talking a big game. They're not being like, oh, we added some customization and it's going to get better as time goes. They're like, hey, we spent a lot of time bringing a legitimate paint booth to the game. I think this will be one of that the fans are going to be excited for. It's turned out really well. We spent a lot of development resources on here. We've already created a lot of cool schemes. Just testing the paint booth right now. I fucking love hearing this shit. This is how you get the community excited. All these years of disappointments, these guys, they seem intent on making sure that we understand they hear us. Talking about the graphics, talking about the paint booth, talking about the physics. The paint booth is the one people have been asking for directly in the community, and it's something we are delivering on its first iteration of the new franchise. Here's another shot. Wow, look at the track detail. You could see the grooves in the track, the individual gravel of the asphalt. You could see some reflection off the door. Um, the lighting is excellent, and it looks like ray tracing is going to play a role here, as it should. It is 2021. We got next gen consoles and a whole new family of powerful graphics cards on the market. Well, they're pretty hard to pick up right now, but it does seem like these guys are intent on future proofing this franchise, where this thing's going to be something they can continue to build on, and it's going to remain fresh, and it's going to feel like a modern day AAA game. With the Heat franchise, even when they've made improvements, people still would say, and I agree, it does still kind of look like a previous gen game. It doesn't really stack up with other current uh, titles and franchises. So this is great. I fucking love this. This looks really good. Holmquist is aware NASCAR is regularly viewed as a bit of an acquired taste by people outside the fan community, but feels it's probably one of the most straightforward racing formats for potential new fans. Well, that's true. Um, NASCAR isn't as big as it used to be with casual fans, and the the community's a bit smaller than it used to be back in like the EA days, right? But I do think NASCAR is on a slight upswing, and this is exactly what can help bring more people in, right? A lot of people get introduced through NASCAR not by watching a race, but by playing a game or watching people play a game on YouTube or something. And I think if you got a game that highlights physics, graphics, and it looks badass and it sounds good and you have detail in the game and immersion, right? That's something that's been missing. And it's been missing since almost 10 years, right? Since the first Eutechnics game. We've had substandard bare bones games. They just didn't have any depth. Uh, Even stats were missing for years. So I think these guys are definitely pushing in the right direction. And if you really do a good job with this game, I do think this is going to draw more and more people to the sport. So it's important. NASCAR is either loved or not appreciated. There doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground. That's all fair, I guess. From an accessibility standpoint, we actually think NASCAR's oval racing lends a hand to really get people into our ecosystem, especially with the accessibility options that we're including in the game. I guess they are talking about all the options you're going to have to tailor the game to your specific, abilities or just the type of experience you want to have. You can make this game, I mean, you're going to be able to have it as simple and easy as you want it to be, but you're also going to be able to have it as challenging and complicated as you want it to be, like what you would see in a sim. So I fucking love this. And this is what a AAA title is supposed to deliver. You should have so many options that it shouldn't leave anyone on the outside looking in thinking, no matter what I do to this game, I just don't feel comfortable with it. So that's really important. I think what's underappreciated is the closeness of racing and the assumption that you just floor the gas and you go around in a circle. I challenge anybody to go to a NASCAR race and then see if that's what you really feel after. Because it's a whole other thing to see 40 cars go around the track averaging 160 to 200 miles an hour within inches of each other. It's just a very different experience. Look at this. This fucking, oh my God. This looks awesome. I know there's going to be people out there, they're going to look at something, they're going to point, and they're going to grab a magnifying glass, and they're going to nitpick. I'm not doing that. When we've had what we've had for the past 10 years, this is awesome. I fucking love this. Look at the detail. The lighting is the biggest difference. This is night and day. And look at the blades of grass. I can almost smell the grass and feel that itchiness you feel when you roll around on grass. I'm looking at the grass and I just want to roll on it. It looks so, the detail is there. Wow. I love the lighting. Everything is amazing. I can't wait to see gameplay of this. Wow. If you're not impressed with this, you have unrealistic expectations. Wow. That's actually the best screenshot so far. NASCAR 21 will be the first of Motorsport Games' upcoming salvo of racing simulations built in the wake of Studio 397. So yeah, they're talking about that British BTCC, British Touring Car Championship, and the other games they're working on. They're all going to be on the same engine, the same physics, the same everything, and that's why they're pushing for AAA level. These guys are swinging for the fences, and they can't afford to have anything that seems substandard or low quality. I am so excited about what we're hearing so far. It's tough not to get carried away. I keep telling myself, don't do it. Don't get carried away. Pull back. But I love what I'm seeing. And I honestly feel like, hey, if I'm a game developer, these are the things I would be pushing for. I mean, it's been a fucking long wait, man, but it's good to finally see someone that is at least saying the right things and actually, I mean, they're going to deliver a paint booth. They're delivering graphics, and I trust these guys at Studio 397. Our factor is I mean, the community that's out there, there's so many people that have praised that game. So I've never played it, but I trust by so many people praising it, the physics, the handling, even the AI is praised. So I'm sure it's not perfect, but man, I'm excited for the future. So there's definitely pressure, says Holmquist. There's internal pressure, there's external pressure, there's partner pressure, there's definitely pressure coming down. I think a lot of people think we took a risk changing engines. I don't know about that. I don't know if there's anyone that said keep doing what you're doing. I've said in the past that the game engine is overblown as far as what's to blame for the substandard games. And I stand by that because I just think that the group of people, there wasn't enough people working, there wasn't enough time, okay, to develop a decent game. Now, obviously, engines do matter. I didn't say they don't matter at all, but I think that people think that these game engines are magic, that just switching to a game engine is going to it's going to change everything, like waving a magic wand. That's not how it works. There's a much larger development group here. They've been working on this for 2.5 years, and people that have already have like from Studio 397 already have a great deal of experience and proven knowledge on how to develop this type of game. These are the things that are all going to coalesce together, as well as this Unreal Engine and the physics model or engine. They're combining the two. I read, it'll probably pop up again. They're developing their own customized engine. And I like that too because it's going to allow them a much easier way to go in and make improvements, adjustments, fix issues. When you're using a third party engine, things don't always go as smoothly. So having your own game engine is the way to go. And it's also a move that a top studio or game developer would do. Rockstar doesn't use someone else's engine. Rockstar has their own game engine they've been working on for many years. And it allows them to create the games they want to create without compromise. I'm sure they could have done just as good a job with an Unreal Engine, but there's nothing like having your own customized tools that you developed for your specific needs. And Rockstar is an open world game developer, so their Rage engine, they call Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, is something they've been working on. And I love that these guys are doing their own thing. They didn't just say, okay, we're using the Unreal Engine, let's just use that as is. They're taking that, they're combining it with whatever R Factor's doing, and they're developing their own unique engine. So I do expect big things from these guys. We could have done what everyone else would have done. The easy route would have been to create NASCAR Heat 6, add some quality of life features, sell it, move on, flip the game again and again and again. So, what I like about this, okay, this is an admission that what was being done with the Heat franchise, it was a sort of a copy paste, bare bones with small baby step additions every year. So now it just seems to me like, okay, these guys are kind of done. They're still kind of pushing NASCAR Heat 5, and I think this is going to signal kind of, okay, we're leaving that behind. We're full speed ahead on this. But it's an admission, and I love that they're admitting that of what the Heat franchise was. And what's important about admitting it is that in by the same token, they're also admitting, or not admitting, but telling you That's not what we want to do. What we're doing is another whole other level. We're going AAA, and we're pushing things. I love it. There's a lot of pressure for this game, as you know, because we have the other games like BTCC, which I just talked about, other licenses coming on board, and obviously this is going to be a reflection to consumers, media, and even our partners and future partners of what our capabilities are. This is another thing I have talked about in the past, okay? When I've talked about things about concerning like investors and Wall Street and shareholders and things like that. This game is going to be their showcase to all these people and say, this is what we're capable of doing, and this is where we're going as a company, not just for NASCAR games, but whatever games we produce and push out with our label, you can expect this level of quality, this level of detail. That's great because that's going to drive excitement up amongst consumers and of course shareholders and investors. That's what they want. They want people to get excited. They want people to look at this and say, this is quality. I can't wait to if this game's good, it's just going to make people want the next game that much more. So yeah, there is pressure. I get it. These guys are under pressure, but they put it on themselves, and I love it. They're accepting that challenge. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They've invested a ton of money. Everything they're doing is big baller moves. They're not fucking around. They're not taking shortcuts. I love it. I love it. And that's the attitude. That's exactly what I've talked about. And when you make a game, that's going to be a reflection on you as a company and the future products you put out. If this game fails to deliver and people end up saying this is another garbage game, it was all hype, these people are going to be in a lot of trouble. The shareholders are going to be pissed. The stock prices are going to drop. There's going to be less people willing to invest. So a lot is riding on this. And this is being their first official game as a company. You want to put on a really good product because this is what you're showing to everybody. This is who you are. So I love the attitude. I love all this stuff, which I've talked about. And obviously, our goal is to create a portfolio of motorsport racing games that people really enjoy and really spread the passion of gaming and motorsports, which are starting to be very similar, especially with esports. Now, this is probably the first time I've said the word esports, and I don't feel sick. My stomach isn't queasy. I'm okay with it. I'm not saying that I don't care if all they care about is esports, but they're showing me that it's not just about esports. These guys really understand that the game has to check off all the major boxes. That includes offline, career mode, all these things. Now, they're not talking career mode or anything like that yet, but this is the first official announcement, the first official marketing campaign. This is the first stage. So I do expect to hear more details. But for them to come out and already tell us, hey, there's gonna be a paint booth, a fully fleshed out paint booth, by the way. Um, they're not fucking around. That's something maybe I might have waited till the end of marketing. Maybe that would have been like that final thing to hit people with just before the game releases, where people like, holy shit, and this is in it. But you know what? I'm not saying they shouldn't have said it now. I'm just saying that maybe I might have held that ace in my sleeve till the end. Um, Maybe not the very end, but like as you're closer to release date, just to hit people with that surprise. But you know what? This is awesome. I'm not complaining. That might have been the only thing I would have done different. And who knows? Maybe this is the better way. It's getting people right away saying, "Hey, there's a fucking paint booth in the game. right away. So you know what? Maybe they're right. Yeah, I would have made that move, and I might have been. I think I would have missed out on the 3 months of people talking about the paint booth, because that is important to a lot of people. So yeah, you know what? Thinking about it, that would have been a bad move on my part to do that. So I like that. So they right off the bat, that was one of the first things they mentioned. Good move. Now that yeah. Obviously, our goal is to create a portfolio. Okay. All right. I just read that. Here's another screenshot. Wow. I love this. Look at the reflections. This is ray tracing. I guess this is between haulers in the infield. Maybe. Wow. This is fucking awesome. It looks good, man. In imagine this in HDR with these lights just pop through the screen. I don't know, man. I got a PS5. I don't know if I'm gonna get it on PS5 or PC. And the thing is, my PC has a 1080p graphics card. Um, no, 1080 Ti. I'm sorry. I'm still not really an expert on PC gaming, but it's a 1080 Ti card. It's pretty old. It is a good card. Don't get me wrong. But man, is it going to be able to take advantage? I don't think the ray tracing is going to really. So I don't know, man. I'm going to have to really think long and hard about it. Plus, um, my gamer tag on. Well, I could change it, but everybody knows me as Disco Inferno, and I'm already in the PlayStation ecosystem. Maybe I keep that going. The one thing I will say is I have the D-Box motion simulator. If D-Box supports this game on PC, then it's not even a thought. I'm oh my god, please let this be supported on D-Box. Please. Anyway, I'm excited. It doesn't really matter. I think wherever I end up playing it, the game's just gonna look good. I like this, man. I want to know what you guys think. This looks great. Studio's approach to the NASCAR 21 will become the foundation it builds on. Of course, I've said this before. That first game is the most important because that's the one you're going to build on. That's why that first game has to get a lot of the foundation right. Unreal isn't going to go anywhere. The R Factor 2 physics aren't going to go anywhere but get better. So we also look to the future. That every game iteration, either NASCAR, BTCC, or and so on, is going to get better and better. So this is our first flag in the ground. You guys who followed me for years, you know how many times I've talked about how important that first game is and the foundation. And you know what? With NASCAR Heat Evolution, it just, yeah, it was tough to build on that. They actually, 704 did a decent job building on it. It's just not enough. And when you start that low, you're just behind every game. Even you add stuff, you're still behind and behind. So I'm so glad we are at this stage where brand new rebuild from the ground up with people who at least are saying the right things. And the decisions they're making right now, I will be shocked if this game is disappointing. I'll be shocked because they're saying the right things. So it's a step up from the Heat franchise. It looks like more than a step, but maybe they want to be careful. They don't want to say anything like we're light years ahead. So it's a solid comment. It's very important for us to ensure this game of quality our users expect, and it's a step up from the Heat franchise. Motorsport Games has not confirmed the release date, but more details will be revealed. Yeah, so it's NASCAR 21. I guess that's the name. Yeah, man, I love it, love it, love it. Wow, this looks awesome. I am so excited, man. I want to know what you guys think. Are you guys as excited as I am? I know. Take it with a grain of salt. You want to wait and see the game first, but man, just talking about the marketing, I like what they're doing. I like the timing. Uh, I mean, I what is there to complain about at this point, right? I just don't see it. This was awesome. Uh, just coming off the bat and just letting people know about the paint booth and yeah, I can't wait to see, man. I look forward to your comments later.